Hey guys, Siddharth Rajsekar here. Welcome to this special interview. I'm here with Shree Dembla, and she was able to achieve over 5.3 lakhs in the last 3 months as a woman prosperity wizard. Now, she's a financial consultant turned healer and life coach, and now a woman prosperity wizard. And she's helping a lot of women step into their power and really add more value to their lives. So, first of all, before I even get started, Shree, congratulations for achieving 5.3 lakhs just in the last 3 months.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks
Awesome.
to you, actually entirely.
You're
And
welcome.
also my husband, because he's been a big support.
Yes, I'm going to interview Gaurav in a separate call, and he's a
Yes.
rock star. He's one of our,
Yes.
guys who's doing really well. But now the focus is on you, Sri. So, tell us a little bit about, you know, your backstory. Backstory more in terms of your business model. Like you've been telling me that you've been in the spiritual space, healing space for a long time. How did that transition happen from a financial consultant into this space?
So I was reading this book called You Can Heal Your Life.
Mm.
And in this book, she's written some psychosomatic diseases. So by the end of the book, I just started because I journal. So I
Mm.
started writing them down in my journal. And to my utter shock, I had 22 issues with my body. So I
Wow.
didn't have a major disease, but I had cervical sinusitis, piles, IBS, tinnitus, uh, some issues with my eyes, and lots of body aches and lots of allergies.
Mm.
So that was a turning point of my life because I just realized that that time I was 27. I just realized that if at 27 I have 22 issues with my body,
Mm.
I just wondered what's going to happen by the time I turn 50.
Mm.
So the next day, the night I completed the book, finished the book, next day I went and I shut down my office. I had a,
Wow.
I had a, Plan Money Consultant was the name of my company. I was a financial consultant. I had 400 people's client base, 10 people reporting to me,
Mm.
good business happening, incentive trips from the companies. Yet I learned that if my body is not healthy, if our mind is not peaceful, there's no point making all that money.
Yes.
So, and
Mm.
that was just like that one moment I said, I'm changing this. So
And this is
that's when
Louise Hay,
I,
right? It's a Louise
yes,
Hay book. Yes,
yes,
she's
yes,
the master in this
yes,
space. Mm.
yes.
Heal your life, is it? Just to note,
You can heal your
you
life.
can heal
Yes,
your life. Okay.
yes,
So when you finish the book, instantly, I mean, you just call it wraps, and what did you do
yes.
after that?
I just next day went and I winded up my office.
Mm.
I sent a letter to my clients that I'm changing my profession,
Mm.
handed them over to someone else, said bye to my staff, and I started learning. So I learned about mind. I went and did a mind power program. There I
Okay.
met somebody who was a hypnotherapist. So
Mm.
then I started hypnotherapy. So I'm already a certified hypnotherapist, and I started doing past life regression a lot. And
Okay.
then it was like a rampage, pranic healing, Reiki, tarot, angel,
Mm.
neuro linguistic programming,
Mm.
hypnotherapy, past life regression. So that's why I was a spiritual shopper. Anything spiritual, I
Spiritual
will be
shopper.
going and buying,
Mm.
buying it. And then I met somebody who was a facilitator with Access Consciousness, and
Mm.
I really liked the energy of it. So I went ahead, and right now I'm I'm an international facilitator with Access Consciousness.
Mm.
And my husband started doing your programs, and he always, he has been saying this to me since so long that you are so talented, your personal awareness is so high, you should do something of your own.
Mm.
And this is where all of that came together, where, along with the Access Consciousness classes, we started doing outrageous living, which is
Mm.
a program for women, where I say living a fulfilling and phenomenal life.
Mm.
So that's
Okay.
what we do. So that's
So
that's a whole
coming
journey.
on the timeline. So when did you
Yeah,
wrap up this company, and how long were you doing this this access
it was in
consciousness? Mm.
2010, 11 sometime that
Okay.
I ended up that company.
Mm. Mm.
And then I spent some time learning. I
Okay.
did all these courses, but
Yes.
within a year, I opened up my own office. I didn't
Okay.
know how am I going to manage the funds.
Mm.
I actually, for a very long time, used my pocket money to pay the expenses and
Expenses.
also afford my courses. And then gradually, the income started coming up. However, I think, till last year, like
Mm.
past, it's just 2 years that we started making profit. But before that, we were always breaking even.
Mm.
And And thanks to you, now it's looking like much brighter
Hmm.
in times to go,
Hmm.
you know.
So you were saying that you were doing WhatsApp based training and then you
Yeah,
started to transition into the video based, mode. So
yeah.
just tell us about that learning phase that you went through by going through my courses. When did that start? And what were the elements that you were able to pick out of it, which you found very useful?
I think it was in the end somewhere, end of the year, last year.
Mm,
Because I used to, like my husband used to watch your videos, and I used to get, and he used to always, ask me. It was like a forcible motivation, which I was resisting.
mm,
So, but eventually, I got inspiration. I got inspired, and then I thought, let me also dive into it. But it was
mm.
definitely sometime in the last of the, like maybe November, December sometime,
Okay.
where I started doing it. But I honestly, like, I did it for a few days, but then I was like, I wasn't, that's why I said,
Mm.
I'm a very bad student, yet producing these results. Because I think it's the system that works. Like,
Mm.
I just wonder now if I actually do it to the core.
Yeah.
I just wonder what we are gonna create.
Mm.
So that's
So
how it is.
you're barely scratching the surface of
I
yeah,
swear.
the system. Mm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Super. So November, December, you start to dive in and you start to understand the
Yeah.
concepts. That too not full fledged, but when did the results start to come? Like, what tweaks did you make in your business
See, I'll tell
after
you,
watching my videos? Yeah.
majorly what happened was, earlier I was catering, I was marketing to everybody because I thought everybody is my market.
Okay.
I can do
Mm.
everything, so everybody is my market.
Mm.
Yet your program, when I went through your program, especially that niche clarity part, it
Mm.
made me understand. Actually, I actually took out all my data of all those years that I have been working,
Mm.
and I studied my data, and I realized that always 95+% of my clients has been women. Then why am
Okay.
I wasting my resources and energy into promoting my business to men?
Mm.
So why not I just divert my resources and energy to women only
Yeah.
and create effective results? So that was the first thing. Second, if I tell you more than the money part, because everybody sees the money part, and I know if there are people watching who are in the spiritual and healing job
Mm.
profession or something, we are weird people. Like, the emotion, the contribution we make to the planet is a bigger this thing, and we all have a calling. Lot of us don't know what our calling is, but we know it is something good.
Yeah.
So, like for me, I have always, I grew up my mom telling me that I want you to be self-dependent. Like her words were, I don't
Mm.
want my daughters to be beggar in front of a man.
Mm.
And I personally became self-dependent. And one of my this thing was that every woman should have this. I know no woman should be feeling helpless that she has to depend on a man, so she has no choice. So she
Mm.
can be abused. And I am able to do that, which is like, it's huge for me. It's
Amazing.
emotional for me, that when women participate in the program, they get that they are valuable. So, and they get that they can create money with ease,
Yes. Mm.
you know. So it's like I'm just multiplying what I have got, and it's just going to a different level. Like this program, we had 17 people, and they are already pushing me to start another one because there are
Mm.
more people. They have already promoted it too because of the results they have generated.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
that's very fulfilling. That's very fulfilling.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So you from December onwards, you were able to tweak your system, and
yeah,
the niche clarity helped you. So you zeroed down on your target market, and you were able to understand because what were problems, challenges that you were going through initially. You were able to
yeah,
bring that out. So the rapport building was even more deeper, I
yeah,
presume.
yeah.
And how were you able to construct your curriculum? Because you've learned so many tools, from NLP to Angel to Tarot and all of this. So how did you approach that after going through the courses?
So what I did was, there are some of the things I knew, and I was already one-to-one doing classes for them. I
Okay.
made some of them as my bonus tools.
Okay.
So I gave
Mm.
them free bonus sessions for certain things, or free bonus tips for tarot reading and angel
Mm.
reading and all that. And plus, what I did was, I created my own signature program by inculcating those techniques into it. So I
Got it.
would give them daily habit, and
Mm.
that would have that NLP technique in it, and they will get the result from it. So that's how the whole thing just got curated.
So are you saying even though you've learned many tools, you have developed your own unique formula, which you share with your
Yeah,
audience?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that
yeah.
is key, because in the whole training and coaching space, everyone is just like copying each other. But
That's what.
the ones who are successful are the ones who are able to create their own unique system of implementation based on their
Exactly,
flavor of how they do it. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Super. So tell us about the last. How did the growth start to happen? Now tell us what happened in Jan, Feb, March. What actions did you take? What results did you get?
So if I tell you the action, I think your program is very addictive. Like it was like, uh, it's like a relationship you are ignoring, though you like the guy, but you are confused, you're doubtful, you doubt about yourself, you doubt about the guy, and then you give it a time. So I gave it a long time before registering into it. And then finally, when you are, when you trust and you go like, and then once you dive in, you just dive in. So that's how the whole scenario was. I remember throughout December and January, we had no day and night stuff. Like, like Gaurav and I would be, sometimes we would come back home at 10 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 5 in the morning, because night is the best time to do recordings.
Yes.
We made our family understand that you have to bear with us. Don't expect us to come home at night. And uh, and it's weird, like, because even it's the same right now as well, because we don't have, like, we just go with our body, we give it the sleep that it requires, and we are on to work then.
Excellent.
Because now, now it's like the momentum, when it builds up, you're like, oh, I can add this too, oh, I can give them this too.
Yes.
Then, like, like every day, and especially that the Stranger's Secret, like every day when I'm in the morning after my meditation, I listen to Stranger's Secret in the
Yes.
morning. And when I'm listening to it again, like, a lot of ideas pop up, and I keep a note to it. I keep writing it, and then I go into taking action for it. So that is also a very, that's how it is. That's how the whole thing starts creating. So
Okay.
it's
So
fun.
what did you do in Jan? So in the month of Jan, how much did you make? The first month when you
It was
launched?
should be about 70, 80.
70, 80,000. So seven.
Yeah,
Okay. Then the next month
yeah.
you got a few more,
Yeah,
touching over a
next month
lakh.
it was about 2.5, because I was charging them about 12,000 triple nine,
Mm.
and there were 17 people in the program,
Mm.
so should be about 2.5.
Okay.
And then this UK thing.
Then tell us about March. You were traveling and all of that. So how were you
So
able to make
how
that your best month? Yeah.
actually what happened was, I was going, as I've shared, I'm access consciousness facilitator, and I was going to Dublin to attend
Mm.
a class. There's an annual class there's a class I have to attend once a year.
Okay.
And there's a client of mine and a very good friend who was in London, and she said, if you're coming to Dublin, you better come to London and meet me.
Mm.
And it just started, like how they say in the Secret movie, all the ideas started rolling into my life. If I'm going to London, why not just create an opportunity over there, and let's
Yes.
see if something shows up. And we just kept asking questions like, what can we do about it? And then, we came up with this thing that why not use webinar technology there. So
Mm.
we actually planned it in a way, because if I would do a webinar in India, I would do it somewhere on after 5 o'clock, before 9 o'clock, because I know uh, rather before 8, because 5 to 7 is when I do my webinar, because I know women who are my client would get busy with their kitchen after 7 o'clock or after
Yes.
8 o'clock. However, we calculated it this way, because UK client would get free and would be sipping their tea at 6:30 in the evening.
Mm.
After they've come back home around 6, they are very particular about their schedule. So 6:30 in the evening for them would mean 11:30 in the late evening for us.
For
So
India.
that's
Mm.
when we started doing our webinars. And the
Okay.
funny thing is that there were more Indians on the program,
Mm.
and there was the actual figure is more than that,
Mm.
though, because then there are a lot of people who from India also, because of the lockdown. I am not doing one-to-one calls,
Mm.
but there are a lot of people from India who are just waiting for this to be over, and they want to do a class with me because
Mm.
they were on that webinar. So this
Wow.
figure is going to increase once this lockdown is done. And I'm sure before that, once I start doing my webinar, because if they've already tasted the way
Mm.
I facilitate and my energy,
Mm.
and if I tell them, hey, it's okay if I can't come to your city, or you can't come to my city, I'm doing this online program, and why don't you just enroll into it and just go
Yes.
ahead.
Mm.
So that's how I think it's it's like a compounded interest theory. It just
Right.
keeps multiplying.
It
So that's,
multiplies. Yes.
yeah, that's the
So
fun part of it.
amazing. So in March, you did how much? Around, you mentioned 4.35 lakhs
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
month. How many webinars did you have to do for achieving that?
Five. We did
Five
five
webinars
webinar series back to back.
back to back. Was it
So
daily
yeah,
or once a week?
it was
Once in.
daily. It was daily because we had less time.
Mm,
So what we did was, like, it just came an idea, and 15 days later we were flying, and we had to manage so many other things as well.
yes.
So we
Yes.
said, okay, so we launched a series because I was doing body. I am a body facilitator, so I teach
Yeah.
people to work with their body. So we did a webinar series where we launched Body and You was the name of the webinar series. And
Okay.
every day we would take up a topic: body and money, body and sex, body and relationship,
Mm,
body and joy. And everybody was, like, it's a very curative,
mm,
exciting topic. So people would join in,
great.
and that's how the whole thing started
How
happening.
did you fill the webinars? Facebook ads or just organic networks?
Organic. We
Mm,
definitely used FB groups,
mm,
but we didn't pay anything. So
okay.
far, we have not paid anything for any promotion
Even till now, zero
till
ads.
now. Zero ads.
Okay. So how that really shows that you are very well connected as a person, in your networks.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
And the relationships that you have built over the years. That's
yeah.
amazing. And how many people were there in the webinars? Like if you look at the March webinars that you did back to back.
I think every day we had about 100 people or so in the webinars.
Nice. Mm,
And the last 2 or 3, what we did was we even connected the Zoom with the FB Live
okay.
to have a greater audience, because we just
Yes.
got this idea that we can connect Zoom with the FB Live,
Mm,
and the FB Live can be shared as a watch party on a lot of other groups as well.
correct.
So
That's a
that
good
I'm
idea.
sure,
Mm,
exactly, that show, I'm sure that because that gave us a lot of international exposure
mm,
as
mm.
well. Because
Excellent.
then
Excellent.
it was not about us sending the webinar link to people. It was about, hey, we are out there and this is the wonderful thing we do. Then it
Mm,
was people sending us message about, I want to be in this webinar tomorrow as well. So we would send them a link to the webinar, and then that's how we got the data
that's how you
too.
got
So
them. Superb.
and
So
then
WhatsApp, filling webinars, going on live, streaming it on Facebook, and then doing watch parties and exploding that reach, which is which has
yeah,
helped you achieve these
yes,
results. So that's great. It's a very good idea. So what is your vision for
yeah.
the next 6 months to 12 months? Like where do you want to scale this? Now you're probably at the range of 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs a month, in that range.
I have already, my goal card was 4.5 earlier.
Mm,
So this month I changed my goal card to 10.
very good.
And
Mm,
so that's my next target. I've already started looking at my goal card and asking, or creating that. I am creating 10 lakh rupees per month with ease,
yes.
joy and glory. And I'm just secretly at the back of my mind, I am telling myself, when will this goal card turn to 50 lakh? So
Yes, it
so
will.
that's how it is
Amazing.
building up. Yeah.
Super. I mean, this is very, very inspiring. I think many women also watching this, they'll be able to resonate with you. In fact, in my description, I'm going to be pasting a link to Shree's website, so you can go and check it out. So Shree, after going through my courses and been going through the entire freedom business model system, according to you, what are the top three uh, things that you found incredibly useful? Like you mentioned, niche clarity is one of them, but you want to make it like top three that you were able to really incorporate and help you accelerate in what you do.
I One is the mastermind, for sure.
Mm,
But what I liked about you and your system is that it's not like, hey, I have this product and it's a wonderful product, buy it and bye bye.
mm,
It wasn't like that. It was like, I have this product and I'm genuinely interested in creating the difference, you know. So people like me who were like, I mean, honestly, I am among those people who just I do a lot of impulse purchase. So I get excited looking at a program, I'll buy it,
mm.
and I just perceive कि वो energetically contribute कर दे, मुझे खोल के नहीं देखना पड़े उसको. And that's what I did with your program too. And yet, though every time when I would see your message, there would be like this thing, Are yaar, I have bought this and I have to take action on this.
Mm,
But you were persistent.
mm,
You were, and like there was this day when I told myself that I have already bought. This guy doesn't have a personal interest in it. can you just like, so I started attending your mastermind after that.
The Thursday
After like,
calls.
after a lot of messages from you, I was like, he is not selfish here. There is something he wants for you. So, and then, I really started enjoying your masterminds because I think second thing also, which is a part of your mastermind and the entire program, that it is not only about the freedom vis-a-vis your business or money.
Right.
It's about overall life, like when you talk about making those goal cards, when you talk about so watching the secret the stranger's secret part, and then you also talk about dividing your money into charity and all that. So all those things, it's like a balanced life, which
Correct.
I was, I'm a huge fan of, and that's what I do as a profession.
Yeah.
So all that thing, and also more than anything else, it is you who you are being.
Thank you.
Because like I have met you once, I remember, and even way before that, every time I see you, I can clear, like anybody I'm sure can clearly perceive that there's no hypocrisy. Like like you don't go like, "Ki, do this is good for you." I mean, there are people who go like, I had a dietitian one who was really fat,
Hmm.
right? So she would give result, but she didn't have the result. Now, I mean, that's the best example I can give for what you are not. You know,
Hmm.
you are implementing everything you are teaching. And that's very inspiring. Like, because I always check on myself that, hey, whatever I'm telling people, am I practicing it myself?
Correct.
So that speaks, because that creates consistency in what you're
Hmm.
delivering, and that also
Yeah.
over a period of time builds up credibility, because people are very smart these days. They can just
Yeah.
catch.
Hmm.
So I think if I can have to point out three things, it is you, the being you are being, which is uh, you know authentic and genuine, coming from total contribution, and and also personally making money. If you would not be making money personally, I would not be interested in you.
Hmm.
Because like, you have to first make it to tell me that I can do it.
Exactly.
And then
Yes.
second, in your program, I think the niche clarity definitely is something which I loved. And uh, and what was the third one I told
Yeah. Even I think. Yeah.
you?
It's there.
But
I will watch the recording. But thank you. I think at this point I want to definitely acknowledge my mentors, because I wouldn't be anything if not for my mentor Vic, Blair, and any whoever has given me that, just followed them to the T. So I think whatever you're able to see through is, I would attribute it to them. Okay, so that's the beauty of this journey. We don't have anything of our own. We only have to carry forward something that's already been given to us as a gift. So
yeah,
I'm sure you're doing that in amazing ways. So before we leave, first of all, Shree, thank you so much. It was such an inspiring interview. I think a lot of people watching this are going to get huge value from this. And I
yeah,
want you to, before we leave, I want you to just mention to the people, especially who are healers and who are in the spiritual space, where sometimes they feel they are beyond the money, or they don't have focus on the business side of the game. They feel the money
yeah,
is nothing. So what advice would you give for them? Because now you're making money and you seem to have that the acumen for both sides. It's the
yeah,
spiritual side and also the business side. What advice do you have
yeah.
for them?
See, as a child, I belong to a very religious family, and as a child, I used to tell my mom
Mm,
that puja karne ke liye bhi na, you need paisa. Like,
yes.
even to worship to God, you need money, right? And yet, that is one thing which is lacking in the entire spiritual era. Like
Mm,
people don't do it. And I learned it hard way, honestly. I
mm,
used to be like a mystique. I used to personally be like a fakir. Even if I would make in lakhs, I used
mm,
to take pride in saying कि मुझे अपने लिए तो कुछ नहीं चाहिए. I
mm,
would do charities. I would give advance to my employees. I will give it to my friends. But when the reality hits, when you have to pay rent, when you
mm,
have to pay expenses, when you have to manage your family, money, you require money, and it is energy, and if you are
yeah.
an energy healer, and if you're being dishonest and dishonoring to the money,
Mm,
it's hypocrisy,
mm,
so I think if everything is God and everything is energy, money is also it. Why are we excluding it out of our life? Why not
mm,
we include it and embrace it, and enjoy it, and have more of it.
Awesome.
So
Great.
that's what.
That's a great thought. Fantastic. So thank you
Yeah.
so much. Those of you who are watching this on my YouTube channel, just hit the subscribe button and go and check out the links. I've given links to some of Shree's website. You can go and follow her. If you're watching this on Facebook, just share your comments below. What were your key learnings? What were your key takeaways from this segment, this interview? And yeah, I've also given a link to my next webinar. If you want to catch me live, would love to have you. And I'd love to share with you this formula, what she has implemented for her business. So once again, Shree, thank you so much. Looking forward to interviewing your husband next, who's a rock star, and
I
let's
know.
let's change the world together. I truly appreciate the work that you're doing, and may you inspire and impact thousands of women out there who are waiting for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.